Are back to school now, and now parents who work and want to do it all career-wise have to wind up juggling everything. So Jocelyn Herman-Saccio, she is a landmark communication expert, is here to tell parents how to succeed. Now, what would you say, Jocelyn, would be kind of the #1 challenge for parents who are really trying to juggle taking care of their kids and also having a career of their own?
Well, I think everybody wants to have it all, right? But I think people confuse having it all with doing it all. And I think that's the biggest thing, because you can't do it all, but you can have it all if you get, creative.
Okay.
And for the most part in life, we're in a reaction mode versus a creation mode. We're reacting to what's happening, what we have to deal with. So there's only one letter difference between create and react.
That's true. You just reverse the R and the C there.
It's a little bit of a jumble, but there is only one letter difference.
I like that.
Yeah, and it really creates a world of difference. So I have a 3-step process that we use at Landmark worldwide to coach people in creating what they want in their life. Yeah.
What's the first step?
First step is paint a picture of what you really want. And that seems like, oh, that's the easiest step. But honestly, that's what people have the most difficulty with, because we don't spend a lot of time thinking about what we want because we're dealing with what we have to deal with. So create what you really want. So for me in this area that I was looking at how I was reacting about spending quality time with my kids. And what I really wanted was to spend quality time, playful time, enjoy spending time together rather than be distracted with all the other things I had to do.
Now, in creating this picture, how do you do that tangibly? I mean, do you email yourself a vision? Do you talk to somebody about it? What's your advice there?
Well, I create stuff in language, because the minute you create it, then it's there. It exists the minute you create it. But then you've got to do the second step, which is distinguishing what's happening from your interpretation of what's happening. So like with regard to the dinners with my kids, what was actually happening is we were having a family dinner once a week.
Okay.
Now, I had a lot of interpretations about that, like it should be a different way. I should have more
5 days a week or something.
I mean, some unrealistic thing like that, right? Or I'm not a great mother if I'm not spending more time with my kids. And one of the things that I've found is the minute you have a should or a shouldn't, you got a recipe for upset and overwhelm.
So in that specific example, what would your approach be to kind of improve the situation and have more dinners and not feel bad about only having one?
Well, that's the third step, so it brings us right to it, which is to practice new ways of being and acting. See, the interpretations that you kind of get thrown to give you a certain way of being. So for me, one of those ways of being was overwhelmed and guilty, and that's not a very empowering way to spend time with your kids, because even when you're there, you're not there. So practicing new ways of being is looking at, okay, what kinds of ways of being would I want to be with my kids? If I could be any way, and one of the ways was playful and available and in the moment. And then the key thing is actions, practicing new actions. And what I've done is I take complaints and I turn them into requests.
How do you do that?
So like my 7-year-old, I requested that he come up with a board game for the nights that we have dinner together, because he loves to play games. So he comes up with the board games. Or I asked my 17-year-old daughter, okay, will you prep the vegetables? And she does. I mean, it really creates like a teamwork.
So it's like a project rather than a chore.
Exactly, and we have fun doing it because everybody's contributing, and people want to make a difference. They want to contribute, and then I'm not all stressed out, and everybody's able to actually be with each other making dinner and playing games rather than, ugh, we got to have dinner, Mom, what's for dinner, and it all becomes about doing it all as the mother versus having it all as a family.
It really sounds like a win-win. Great advice from Jocelyn Herman-Saccio this morning, and for more information and more advice like this and changing your thinking as a parent, you can go to landmarkworldwide.com.